Welcome to this post-game virtual news conference for the 2021 College Football Playoff National Championship. We are joined now by Jeremy Ruckert, tight end of Ohio State. To ask a question during this session, please raise your hand using the raise hand icon on Zoom. If and when your question is selected, I will unmute your microphone and say your name. Once your question has been answered, your microphone will be muted and your hand will be lowered. If you want to ask a question, please do not have multiple Zoom sessions open at one time. So if anybody has any questions, please raise your hand. Our first question will come from Patrick Murphy.
Jeremy, I guess the obvious question to start with is the tight ends were so involved in the first half against Clemson. You guys went to a couple throws to you guys early, but didn't continue with that. How much of a talk about using you guys in the passing game was there, and what did you make of the game plan going forward?
I mean, they were a great defense and everything, and we were able to make some plays early, but we were just trying to control what we can control, and we didn't want to force anything and just trying to get into a rhythm here and there. We kept getting a couple guys go down, so we really just tried to get into a rhythm. And going against a great team and a great defense like that, you got to really try and do whatever you can, take what they give you, and not try and force anything. So I mean, like I've always said, if the ball comes my way, I'll do everything I can to make the play. But if it doesn't, I'm just going to do everything I can to help the team, and whatever my assignment is, I'm just going to do it to however as hard as I can and as long as I can.
Our next question will come from Spencer Holbrook. Spencer, go ahead.
Jeremy, now that you've had 2 years to play with Justin and presumably that time has come to an end, what can you say about him and what you've seen from him the last 2 years?
I mean, our relationship goes back to high school. We went to a bunch of camps together, and I've always seen him around. And other than about him as a football player, you can just tell how much of a competitor he is and how truly great he is. He always puts ourselves in a great position, and he's one of the toughest players I've ever been around. One of my toughest teammates I've ever seen, and he really showed that last game, and coming back this game, behind the scenes, just 24/7 in our training room, getting his body right and doing everything he can to make sure he's out here. And I feel like he didn't even give it away that he was hurt at all. He looked like he was standing in there strong and doing whatever he could to help us win. So I mean, he's a great person, unbelievable football player, and I'm excited to watch his future.
Our next question will come from Stephen Means. Stephen, go ahead.
Jeremy, how much did losing Trey Sermon on that opening drive, I guess, change things and impact some of the stuff you guys wanted to do offensively?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a huge loss, especially how productive he's been these last couple of weeks. We've been kind of relying on him in the run game, but I mean, we're very confident in the guys that we have going forward and who we had in the game. We feel like we were moving the ball pretty well. We rushed pretty good in the first half, and I mean, losing him was definitely detrimental. But I mean, you can't really put much thought about that into the game while you're in the moment. I mean, you gotta just control what you can control, as I said before, and I feel like we just try to do that on offense, and our defense just played as hard as they could, and we respect those guys so much and love all those guys, especially the older guys. I mean, it's tough to see it end like this, but I mean, you just gotta control what you can control.
For our next question, we'll go back to Patrick Murphy. Patrick, go ahead.
Jeremy, you're obviously very involved in the blocking game. Alabama's defensive line, maybe a little bit unheralded in comparison with some of the past, but clearly got to you guys some. What did they do well in this game?
I mean, you play against Alabama, you're going against the best players in the country, and they're very talented, very fundamentally sound, and obviously they're going to get after us a couple of times. I feel like we just try to manage that and try and be on the attacking end, not trying to receive it, and be more proactive than reactive. And I mean, they got after us a couple of times, and I feel like it might have changed a couple big moments in the game if we could have stayed on a block a little bit longer or gotten him a little extra second to scan down the field. But I mean, we left it all out there. I could tell our offensive line and our defense and everybody on this team, we just left it all out there. I mean, the score might not have shown it, but I'm just so proud of how far we've come, especially in this season and how everything's happened. I mean, can't be anything other than just so proud of our guys and how far we've come throughout this whole year.
If you have a question for Jeremy, please raise your hand. Our next question will come from Stephen Means. Stephen, go ahead.
Jeremy, what were they doing in the secondary to kind of limit you guys in the passing attack today?
What do you say? Can you repeat that?
What did they do anything to limit you guys in the passing attack today?
I mean, I don't really. Nothing comes to mind. I mean, like they played really strong. They're very, very sound. They get their plays in early, and I mean they played really good. And wish it could have turned out different, but I mean, I didn't really notice anything. I feel like we just kind of got off rhythm a little bit and couldn't get first down. So I mean, I don't know how much that had to do with the secondary or anything, but I mean, just much respect to those guys for coming to play.
Our last question for Jeremy will come from Patrick Murphy. Patrick, go ahead.
Jeremy, you took the big hit in the first half. Just what did you feel after that? You obviously came back in the game, but how are you feeling and how are you feeling still?
I mean, hurts, but my dad would have got after me pretty bad if I didn't get right back up. So I mean, just thinking, don't want to end like that. Don't want the season to end like that. Get back in the game and try and help and do anything I can.
All right, that's it for this post-game virtual news conference. A transcript will be provided by